Yo, what's up world? It's your boy Filoshko here. You know that American dude with the incredible mood? That's me making another native accent video for you today. And why am I making these native accent videos? Well, I rarely make them very seldom, but I make them because, I don't know, I guess I'm just curious to know how many people would understand me when I'm actually speaking the way I actually speak. It's like if I go somewhere and maybe I have some American friends there and you're there too, and then I'm talking to these guys, I'm like, yo, what's going on, you guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm wondering if you understand or not. So basically, as you listen to this video, you can leave a comment saying, I don't understand it, or I understand half of it, or I understand all of it, because I'm just curious to know how many people on this channel would actually be able to understand me when I'm speaking the way I usually speak. I'm just really curious to know that. So if it doesn't suck too much for you, it'd be great for you to put that in the comment section. So I'll make a quick 10-minute video speaking with my native accent, and any idioms or anything big I use, you can ask in the comments, what does this mean, or what did you say at this time? I'll answer it. I'll try to be very interactive with you guys on these native accent videos. So this video I'm going to talk about Russians in America and my experience with Russians in America and how it prepared me, Russians and Ukrainians in America, specifically New York, and how it prepared me for Russians in Russia and Ukrainians in Ukraine. But it's a little different now with Ukrainians in Ukraine because the situation and stuff, so it's not like it was 3 years ago, but it's still kind of similar. Well, I believe that the first Russian interaction of any sort I've ever had in New York was when I was in junior high school. And when you're in junior high school, the first year you're about, I think 11 years old in junior high school. 6th grade, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, you're 11 years old. And in my class was this girl named Julia. She was tall, she had glasses, she was a nerd. And she was Russian. She was a Russian girl. And I liked her a lot. But back then, no girls ever liked me. Girls always thought I was too short. And they thought I was nice, but no girls ever wanted to kiss me or anything. I didn't have a girlfriend until I was 20 years old. Then after that, I don't know what happened. But back then, no girls liked me. So I used to hang out with her. And I remember the first thing she ever taught me to say in Russian, because we used to play with each other and hit each other a lot. I remember the first thing she taught me was "ne bie меня." "Ne bie меня." It's the first thing she taught me in Russian, and that means "don't hit me." And from that little phrase she taught me, I just began to be so interested, a little interested in the Russian language, because it was just cool that I was able to say something in another language, except for Spanish, because if you're born in New York, California, you're going to speak some Spanish whether you like it or not. It's going to happen, because I have so many friends who speak Spanish. But aside from Spanish, it was cool to know something in another language. It was really, really cool. And I'd hear her talk to her mother on the phone, "Да, конечно, я не знаю, может быть позже," and I would hear her talking and stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. Another language, it's like a secret society and all this stuff. But at the time, I never thought about going to Russia. That was not on my mind. I was just really impressed with the fact that she spoke another language. So as years went on, okay, here goes the major change in my life. I think this happened maybe 5 years after I was 16 years old. I was 16? Yeah, I was 16 years old. No. I was older? Yeah, I was older. Oh, wow. I was 18 years old when this happened. Yeah, I was 18. Yeah. Okay, I was 18 years old, so this was 11 years ago. It's so embarrassing, but here we go. I had a girlfriend at the time, and my girlfriend at this time she was an American girl. She was Irish American, her parents were from Ireland, but she's American. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Tall, very thin. A lot of people liked her. She was like a cute little model. A lot of people really liked her. And they still like her a lot today because we're still friends on Facebook. She's a very popular girl. And, we were going out and stuff. And, God damn it. We were going over my friend Albert's house. We were going over his house. And every Thursday, we would go over Albert's house. It was like a Albert Thursday thing, because I think every Thursday, his parents went somewhere, so we decided to chill at Albert's house. And we were just chilling at Albert's, right? So then, one day we go, I'm with my girlfriend, and they're drinking and stuff, but I didn't drink alcohol. I didn't drink alcohol until I was 22 years old. So, they're drinking and stuff. I just walk in, and I remember me, I'll never forget. I walked in, I was holding my girlfriend's hand. She was to the left of me. And as I walked in, I turned to the right and I look. And I remember seeing this, in my mind, this lady, like, she like, how do I describe her? She was wearing a lot of black. She was wearing a short black skirt, and like she had like almost sort of Asian eyes, a little Asian, but she wasn't Asian. They were just a little Asian. She had hair like this, kind of short, and she was just so good looking. Like I've never seen a girl like that. I was like, holy crap! I like when I saw her, my heart started beating faster, and I got nervous, and I didn't even know what to do. Like that's how attractive this lady in my mind was to me. So I kind of, I say hi, and she says hi to me, and I'm like, all right, and I go and I hang out. And as I'm hanging out with my friends, I just wanted to go, because she was in one room. She was in Albert's bedroom, right? Playing video games. That's where we play video games. Everyone else was kind of hanging out, maybe drinking and rapping and stuff in the living room. The living room was like where usually the biggest TV is, where everyone meets and hangs out and stuff. But she was in the bedroom with one other person. So I decide, without my girlfriend, to go to the bedroom to play games with the Nintendo 64, not with her, but to play games. So I'm playing games, whatever, and we start talking, and I'm like, hi. She's like, hi, and I'm like, how are you? She's like, I'm great. And I remember asking her, I was like, so where are you from? I was just so curious. It's like, where are you from? And she was like, I'm from Ukraine. And at that time, I didn't know what the fuck. I'm like, oh, I guess that's in Russia, right? She goes, no, it's not in Russia. She's kind of mad, but I didn't know. And I'm like, oh, sorry, what is it? She's like, it's a country next to Russia. We're different. We have our own culture, our own language, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Do all girls in Ukraine look like you? And she was like, most of them. I was like, God, maybe one day I'll go there. She goes, I don't think you will. I'm like, me neither. But I've been there twice already. But this was 11 years ago. And then we decided to go to the store together. Left my girlfriend at the party to go to the store with this lady, cause cause of the makeup and stuff she wears makes her look much older than she was. She's older than me. She's older than me now. She was older than me then, of course. But the makeup she wore made her look, instead of 1 year older than me, made her look like she was 4 years older than me or something like that. So I was 18. I thought she was like 22, 23, right? So we go to the store and we talk and we basically get along. And we get along to the point where we exchange numbers and all that stuff. Then one day she invited me to her house where her friend was Russian. Her friend was Russian, where her Russian friend lived. Then one day I went over her house at night with my friends Charles and Bert. And this was like kind of my first real Russian / Ukrainian experience. They had the vodka. They had all the little cut pieces of meat on the table and the slices of cheese. And they had the even kalbasa and all this stuff. They had it out there, and it was just new for me. Just the way the table looked, and the vodka and all that stuff. It was new for me. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't drink back then. I had one drink because I liked her so much. But me watching them do these things and listen to this Russian music and stuff, it was all very, very new to me, and like it just made me. I don't know if it made me like her more. I just know I liked her a lot, plus that was her culture. The whole Russian-Ukrainian thing, her and her friend. So, as time went on, we kind of spent some time together and whatever, but long story short, we didn't really come together as a couple or anything like that, but we did enjoy some time together, and after I spent some time with her, ever since then, how do I put it? Every time I met a Russian or Ukrainian woman, ever since I met her, I liked it that they were Russian or Ukrainian. I liked it because Anna, she was like really my first impression as an adult. She was my first impression of a Ukrainian or Russian woman. She was the first impression because she wasn't just Russian or Ukrainian by her parents. She was born there herself. Then she came here. So it's different than when I was a kid in junior high school hanging out with Julia, because Julia she was born here, born in America, but this girl wasn't. She was born in Russia, Ukraine. She started the accent and everything. So it just attracted me so much, and is part of the reason why I am who I am today. And a lot of times I think, what if I never met Anna? What if I never met her? Where would I be? What country would I be in? What language would I be speaking? Like, what if I never met her? Because prior to her, I only liked girls who were like American, Italian American or Irish American. I loved that as a teenager. But as soon as I met Anna, all of that stopped. Everything stopped. Everything stopped. You know, I was on Contact. I've been a member of Contacted for I think 7 years, about 7 or 8 years. It's been a long time since I've been of Contacted. I didn't become popular until like 3 years ago. You know, I only have like 200 friends for maybe 5 years. But once I started making YouTube videos, I became a whole lot more popular. But she definitely is the main reason why I'm into the Russian or Ukrainian culture. She's the reason why my goal has always been to be invited to Ukraine. You know, that's always been my goal. Ever since I started making YouTube videos, is hey, I want to be invited to Ukraine, you know. See girls who are like Anna, you know. And to this day, you know, I don't know what she's doing. I mean, I can find her. We're just different people. You know, she's into doing things. Even back then, she was always into doing things that I didn't want to do. You know, because I was a real good kid. I was a really good teenager. I didn't do any drugs. You know, I didn't do anything illegal at all. I was a really good kid. You know, I only wanted to be with one girl. You know, I was very different back then. You know, I was really nice. You know, so I guess that's all I gotta say about it. I don't think there's anything I'm missing, but I would just have to say that there's a lot of Russians in America now who, well, one, to you guys' surprise, a lot of you don't even know this, but there's a lot of Russians in America who don't speak English, just in case you don't know that. I know a lot of Russians in Russia here, they think, oh, in order to go to America, I have to speak English. No, there's other ways. You know, you should know English if you want to go, sure, but no. There's a lot of Russians there who don't speak English at all. Trust me on that. I don't know exactly how they got there, but there's ways and they're there, okay? That's one. Two, I would say a lot of Russians in America, when they stay there for a good amount of time, they tend to start, I guess, culturally diverging into the American mainstream, and a lot of them tend to not want to identify as Russian. That happens sometimes. Some of them don't want to identify as Russian. You know, they get married, it's like, I'm just American now. I got my green card, I'm becoming American. I don't need to identify as Russian. I don't need to identify as Ukrainian. Well, I don't think anyone says that not to identify as Ukrainian stuff now, because, like, you know, all the Ukrainians are very proud and stuff, you know, because of the situation. But there have been people who don't want to identify as Russian. There's been some people and stuff like that. But it's not all of them. But there's been people like that. There's also been Russian people who hold on very tightly to their culture, even when they're in America. There's a lot of people who hold on tightly to their culture. But the one thing I like about Russians a little more than I like about Americans, then I'll say something I like more about Americans than Russians. But one thing I like a little more about Russians when they travel is that Russians know how to not force their culture on people no matter where they are. So you could be a Russian person from Russia, you don't like homosexuals. When you go to America, you're not going to yell at a bunch of homosexuals. You're not going to do that, because a lot of Russians who don't like gay people will go to another country, look at gay people and say, oh, you know, they're American, they're not Russian, they're American, you know, that's different. But like, if an American goes to Russia and sees like two guys kissing and there's Russian people staring at the two guys, the American would probably think, what's wrong with those Russian people for staring at them? Don't do that. They have rights. They can do what they want. So that's one difference. You know, Russians can travel, keep their culture to themselves and not try to force it on other people. But it's not really easy for Americans to do that. It's not really easy for Americans to do that at all. It's not. You know, Americans just, on average, we have to just like force our views of things on other people. We just have to. You know, I don't know why a lot of us feel that way. It shouldn't be that way. We just have to. Now, of course, something better about Americans than Russians. One thing that's a little better about the average American towards the average Russian is that the average American is more accepting towards, like, I guess I could just say interracial dating. I guess I can say that, interracial dating or international dating. You know, I guess you could say interracial. More Americans are more accepting to that than Russians. And I was honestly surprised about all the stares and stuff that I get, or still get, you know, that I got, whatever, while I'm here in Russia, when I'm like hanging out with a blonde girl or something. It surprised me, because like I didn't think it was like that, simply because there's so many Russians in the country where I'm from who date Americans all the time. Black guys, white Russian girls dating black guys and stuff all the time, and it's basically normal. I thought it would be normal here, but you know, I get stares and sometimes we get comments and stuff. You know, so that's one thing I like better about Americans than Russians, is that they're more accepting into the whole interracial thing, and especially the whole immigration thing. Because to this day, I really don't get much negativity. I'm not gonna lie, I don't get much negativity in Russia with people telling me like, "Oh, why are you here?" Yeah, I don't really get that much. I don't. I've gotten it a few times, but I don't get it much. Usually the people who get it more, like when I talk to my African friends, I mean they're cool, but usually their stories are of negative, the negative view, like they can't find jobs here, or and people treat them badly, say bad things. People don't really say bad things to me here. They don't. But the stares, I know when people are staring. I've been to Germany, I've been to Austria, I've been to Poland, I've been to Hungary, I've been to a lot of European countries. I never get stared at like I got stared at in Russia and in Ukraine. Especially in Ukraine because of the situation. A lot of people over there right now are not too happy seeing a Ukrainian girl, especially a blonde one with a black guy. They're not happy with it right now. Not saying all, but a lot of them. And anyone who tell me I'm lying, I don't got nothing to say to you right now, because I know what the hell I went through in Ukraine, you know what I mean? But this is after the situation, so it's a little different, you know what I mean? It's a little different there. There's more national pride, but the problem with that is the Ukrainian thing, a lot of people are taking that national pride to racial pride. That's what a lot of them are doing, and if you think I'm lying, you can just search the internet, my name right now, Flushko in Ukraine, find the stuff you see them saying about me, you know what I mean? So, I guess that's really it. I told a little about Russians in America and Americans and all this stuff, and just me talking. So if you watch this whole thing and you understood like 80% of it, your comprehension skills are great. Because I honestly feel if you watch this whole thing and you have a general understanding of what I was talking about from Anna, Julia, and me being in Ukraine, whatever, you have a good understanding of the English language, and I can hang out with you. Because if you understand me talking like this, that means if we go out, if I were to have some wine or something and I'm just talking, I know I could talk to you and you won't be like, Chivol. I know you'd listen, all right? So let me know what you think. Maybe I'll make a part 2. Sorry this was kind of long, but this is just me speaking my mind, and the dog is trying to come in. And right now, by the way, I'm in St. Petersburg. Soon I'll be in Kaliningrad, and soon after that I'll be in Novosibirsk. I might be in Novosibirsk for a long time. But even though I'll be in Novosibirsk for a long time, I still will be able to go travel to other cities for like a week or so and give classes. So keep in contact with me, your boy Phil, Philochko, and I'm out. Later.